Hello everyone and welcome back to Chronos Plays Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. Today we're going to trial. Well, kind of about time actually at this point, I guess. Well, I guess we went to trial as Edgeworth and now we're going to trial as Phoenix, so... good morning. Oh, are you by yourself? Morning, Pearls. Mr. Nick, please tell me, what's gonna happen to Mystic Maya? I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still ongoing, so I wasn't allowed in the inner temple. Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those locks at the training hall? No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. Then, how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecution is squeezing her for a confession, or so I hear. Franziska von Karmer, what are you up to? I don't think it's her, man. I know what you're thinking about. Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Godot? Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. Just cuts to her, like with a Rubik's Cube, trying to unlock the locks. The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's... Exactly. She has been out there all night, trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistant, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. It's a game. I'm assuming there's at least 2 parts of this. Hell, maybe even 3 or 4. I can already see it in your eye. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made the decision, I felt myself getting stronger. They call that a power-up. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold onto someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. Alright. I still don't have the answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. We got a few of them. got quite a few of them, actually. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elisa Donham, oh no, I mean Ms. Misty Faye. How is Maya gonna react to that? The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. I totally forgot about that. And what that woman is really after. And we'll solve them all and bring the whole tragedy to an end. Or die trying. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Your Honor? What are you... Who, me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. Wait, are you Canadian too? I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. Does it, though? My poor brother, he looked a bit pale. I mean, so don't you, dog. Not to mention, sad that he couldn't be here. Or go to the Leafs game later. It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot, I guess. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end, anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this world. The taxes? The bit of darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. Pretty sure it's taxes. So then you mean, yeah, forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Objection! She hasn't talked to me about that, and I'm a lawyer, so, you can't do that. Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first? Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. I'm meeting a beautiful lady. Always ask for her name and profession. I mean... No? Yes, no, kind of no. Ask the name, sure. Asking for a profession is like, if you're just walking up to them, kind of trying to, you know, flirt, probably start with the name. Maybe not go for the profession right away. Can kind of come off a little weird. That's one of my rules. Yeah, and you're a weird dude. My name is Iris. I'm but a simple nun undergoing training at the Hazakura Temple. Witness, is there something that you want to confess to? Yeah, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I cannot continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright. What is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Holy shit, we never have that in this court until Wright actually wrings it out of them. Are you saying that you were the one that murdered Miss Elise Donham? No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After his spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Elise, Mystic Elise, and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I just desecrated it. It's kind of a kink. Don't kink shame me. What? Order in the court. Order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. What? 3 minutes into court and I'm already covered in cold sweat. Everyone on the planet is accomplice to something. It just happens to be that, in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Tribe? Grr, that Godot. So this is the confession they were conferring about. Well, objection. They didn't go through her lawyer. Pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris' testimony was all a lie. Iris' testimony crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris is covering for someone. Now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle. Or a life jacket. I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch family members of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. I'm sorry, but main family? Yeah, that's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique. Mystic Maya Fey. Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite. She's naming Maya? Order in the court. We cannot have someone tried for murder 3 different times. It's 4? 3 or 4 different times. It's just not logical. Not only it is if they've murdered 4 different times, but not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer. I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my own very eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her. Objection! That's ridiculous. Mine couldn't. The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened the night of the crime? Yes, Your Honor. And I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. No, I kind of thought it would after Maya was found, actually. I went to the inner temple tonight and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elite strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elite moved to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. So it is self-defense? Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I try my best to protect Mystic Maya. Do you know? Do you know? You don't know. So that's where this is going to go. We're going to reveal that Elise was Misty Faye. Because you don't have a goddamn clue. Maybe. And Iris, I thought better of this. I didn't think you were going to be like your sister. You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Ma wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night, and that the person who did go, that woman, Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Okie dokie, artichoke. Press. Sister Iris, you're a filthy liar. Your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You said yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple. Objection. Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, actually. It means she's a liar, and her testimony cannot be viewed with, like... You can't take her testimony seriously if she's a proven liar. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go? I was in the inner temple's training hall. A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. Franziska was there, wasn't she? That would probably be described as hearsay. What do you have to say, witness? I couldn't tell him the truth at the time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? Dots? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder. There. We all understood how difficult this is for you. Now then, please continue. Franzi was there, wasn't she? Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden? You're saying that the victim attacked Maya. I mean Ms. Faye. Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard in the head and it looked like she was going to collapse. What were you doing at this time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock. That's perfectly understandable, my dear. This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute. Well, no shit. What happened after that? She moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Yeah, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. A dagger, huh? And at least Dunham tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Ms. Faye. Yeah, oh, we never get the sword back, did we? Oh, shit. Oh, no, we did. Okay. Great. Ha! You look like you did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. You mean full of confidence that I know this is bullshit? Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? Huh, do I have a problem with Iris' testimony? I mean, I do, but that wasn't the last one, right? No problem. Iris is my client. I better not press her too hard. Defense has no objection to it. Not yet. You should try some nice, sweet cafe colonnade. Like to at least once try it. Very well, let's continue. Okay, so... Yes, it was 2. Gotta remember that. So it was 3rd from the end. And then... Miss Ma should turn things around and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike. Witness, are you absolutely certain? Yeah, but believe me, she had no choice. If Miss Ma hadn't done something... Maya Faye's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead. Yes, I see. This is bad. Still can't put the pieces together. Unless I find a contradiction in her testimony. I mean, we have all of it. It's all contradictory. Maya's gonna get blamed for this. I only have this to say. So you're saying Maya Faye was the one who stabbed Ms. Elise Dunham? Sister Iris, is that really what you saw? Yeah.
Objection!
Tisk, right. If your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions, the only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like this! I know that's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it. Yeah, no, Godot, you really need to get like a metaphor for dummies book or something, man. There's only one thing you need to get, Trat. It's called evidence. Now hurry up before my next cup gets cold. What does that mean? Is Godot waiting for me to point out the contradictions? I'd like to avoid the whole spirit channel thing if I can. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, even though we've proven its existence, but I think it might actually hurt our standing with the judge. First, I need to pick her testimony apart and expose the unnatural sounding parts. I don't know why Iris would tell a story like this, but there are two things I noticed that just don't add up. Well, let's go for this one, and then we'll press her further. Do I have a problem? Yes, I do. There is one thing. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do? But this witness is your own client. Yeah, well, nevertheless. That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony. Yes, sir. Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps. I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. No, it won't. Get out of the court. You're being held in contempt. See, that's what you should say, Judge. Okay, now, let's continue. She threw her staff away. Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon. It's true. It's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with the staff. That's bullshit? That is bullshit. Really? Sure, it depends on the staff. But that's bullshit. Sister Eyes, let me make sure I got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff. Yes, that's what I saw. Is there something odd about that, Mr. Wright? Yeah, it's odd, alright. Mr. Lee's attacked Maya with that dagger. I'm sure of it. Alright, okay, so no one knows about this being Gumshoe. Well, guess what? Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of the events. Huh? This Donum throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with the staff is hit someone and crush their skull or their windpipe or break their neck or sever. Like, yeah, you can do a lot of damage with the goddamn staff. Depending on the thickness of it, anyways. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. Huh? If Elise Dunham really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she would have needed to use a separate. She wouldn't need to have used a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hand. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trat. I never would have thought that there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite inaccurate and effective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well, did we ever get that blood test back? Anyways, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with the testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony. It's all wrong! Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright! I have another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Because Elise Dunham would never attempt to take Maya's life. Do I present this because it says real name? Music did not stop. Oh, yes it did. Elise Dunham would never have attacked Maya Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name is not Elise Dunham. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey? No. Not Misty Faye! Who is this Misty Faye? Is she related to? Misty Faye is master of the Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Faye. Are you serious? Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Dunham actually the great Mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. Looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years, probably shouldn't have mentioned that part, because that actually probably makes it more likely. Shit, Phoenix, why would you say that? Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Order in the court! Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, namely all of them, 1, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and 2, that the 2 people battling to death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, this entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible. I mean, you're right. A mother and daughter trying to kill themselves. Not impossible. Not that new either. So, like, true. But at the same time, like, Iris is a filthy liar. Except for one little thing. Yes, what is the one little impossible thing? Ha! You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans were under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard this witness confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of coffee. Jesus Christ, man. 8th cup of... Like, I drink a lot of coffee. That's insane. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Is that a dagger the witness testified to seeing? Obviously, Your Honor. But you do not notice something else? Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. It could be ketchup. Gumshoe could have totally used that to, like, cut something he was eating with ketchup, maybe. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Yeah, probably. If it lit up the pine tree. That gets stuck in the backside of the pine. What pine tree? That's not a pine tree. That is not a pine tree? When the last blow was struck, and the violent battle between the 2 women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Ha! Were you even listening, old man? I first heard the confession this morning. This is I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of coffee. So we're just adding. So you're a liar too. Didn't you just say it was your 8th cup just a minute ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed in such a short notice. In any case, the court will accept this dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that the blood test be performed on immediately. I can speak, I swear! This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Now then, where were we? Alright. Murder! The testimony we just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger this witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Except for all the other lies. Cute girls never lie. Bullshit! In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw. The battle between the 2 women. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Mott stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff, but then she dodged Mr. Elise's next attack with a barrel roll and stole a weapon. Suddenly, Mr. Elise was at the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern. And that's when Mr. Mott stabbed Mr. Elise. With a critical hit, Mr. Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. No, it wasn't.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mr. and Mrs. disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore?
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Alright, Chris. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this?
What do you mean?
Where were you standing when you witnessed all this? That's what I mean. Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind.
Behind what?
It was dark there where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Bullshit! Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck? 1 second. We don't have anything saying that. I guess I can't present that there. What are you talking about? Didn't Gumshoe say that, like, something was lit there? I don't know. What happened? No, was that somewhere else? That might have been somewhere else. That was the... No, that was like the tiki torches. What happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. That area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think I got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger.
Mr. Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mr. Maya dodged it, like in Dark Souls, and in the last second, the dagger struck the lid and it fell to the ground. And then, at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet, except for Maya dodging and actually being capable in a fight. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her? You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim. Maya couldn't even turn the tables on a turntable, alright?
Yeah. But Mr. Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
Still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at night point is just silly.
As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
That is just untrue. Yeah, I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified.
Your animal analogies have grown tiresome.
You were the one who started it! Anyway, so after Maya backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? I mean, yeah, a cornered animal will go out with a fight, absolutely, for the most part. But come on. A cornered fox is stronger than a jackal? What type of fox is it? The little red one that sits outside looking at me when I get the mail sometimes? Because I'm pretty sure that dude is not actually just eating... This dude's just eating trash, I think. Because he's, like, kind of fat. And he just lives around people's dumpster. He could be a raccoon. Like, the fox could have actually evolved into a raccoon at some point. I don't know. It's a little weird. He's a cute little dude, but at the same time, like, he's not there every day, but still, like, he's totally eating the trash. I'm pretty sure he's not hunting anymore. Anyway, are you absolutely certain this is what you saw?
Dots? Yes, I'm almost certain.
Almost?
The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did you just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely.
Objection!
We know that Maya Fey was in the temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was Elise Donham.
Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who?
No? I don't have any account of that. How about no? Yeah, how about you say, no, it's not. I need proof. Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment, and then Mystic Maya rushed straight at Mystic Elise with the crane thrust attack. But then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
Though she was stabbed in the stomach,
Yeah.
Where did that dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
I According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards that tree after the struggle. It's the most likely explanation, yes. Being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away?
Yeah, I just said that. Now that I think about it, she seemed to stare at Mr. Maya for a while, and Mr. Maya stood there, not moving an inch. Felt like for a moment like time had stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Miss Elise fell over.
Seems like a reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible. If it was Pearl, absolutely possible, but, you know, they can't seem to catch her in the act. This faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. Are we at the beginning again? We're at the beginning again. Alright, so we will find this contradiction next time. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all then. Bye!